Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another Monday Coffee with Kalan. This is Kalan. I don't know how else to introduce myself, but I'm pretty much ready for today. I had to get a few things ready, such as hot water for some decals because we're going to be doing some decals, and also finish putting together most of what I can on the Land Rover Series 3. And then I will be probably later this evening getting the clear coats sprayed onto it after I do some touch-up painting, which hopefully we can get to here today on the live stream. So I'd just like to thank everybody for joining me so far. And just let me double check a few things here. And I think we're good. And now I can head over to chat. So beetroot and cornflakes for breakfast or dinner. So let's see who's in chat so far. We've got Top from Hobby Link International. Good morning, all. And Model Making Trucker Lewis saying good evening, I think, indeed. And I said good evening to Lewis. He's probably getting ready to go to sleep pretty soon here, I'm sure. And I said good afternoon to Top. And then we have Muse, Scale Model Muse is in the house. Afternoon all. And me saying hello to Muse. And Eric Rascals Hobbies saying howdy. And I, of course, said hello to Mr. Eric. And Top is back. Hey, Kalan, Lewis, Muse, and Eric. Good to see you. Thank you for joining me. And Lewis is back. Hey, Kalan, Buck, Eric, and Muse. Welcome back, Lewis. Hopefully you can stick around for a little bit. And Rascal waving to everybody. And we have Dan, the Quano Man. Evening, ladies, gents, and Lewis. Good to see you. Good evening, Dan. Thanks for popping by. And Dirk from Hobby Link International as well. What up, Model Maniacs? Indeed. Happy Monday to everyone. And Muse was saying hello to Quano Man. And Lewis was saying evening to Mr. Dan himself. And Top waving to everybody. And Lewis saying hello to Dirk. So thank you so much, everybody, for popping in. We are going to actually try to get some work done today on the Land Rover. So bear with me if I don't get to your questions or comments in chat right away. I will try to keep an eye on it. I got a lot done yesterday, believe it or not. We did kind of on an impromptu live stream yesterday. I managed to get quite a bit of painting done, believe it or not. This has been the slowest painting process I've ever had, just because I'm kind of limited to what I have available, and I've been using Tamiya paints, and Tamiya does not like to brush paint very well. I should have airbrushed a lot of this, but instead of cleaning my airbrush out and fighting with it all the time, I decided I was going to go ahead and just try to brush everything on, and then I'd have to wait because I'd have to work on painting an area that was close to the area I had painted before, or paint over the top of it. So it's just been a long process, and thankfully we're kind of at that point to where I can start putting stuff together. And yesterday on the live stream, if you missed it, we started to put the tub together. So I put up ended up gluing all of the side, I don't know what you call these, the internal parts for the inside of the vehicle, whatever you want to call it. So let me get this off the screen real quick. And then also the back area there. So as you can see, I went with kind of a darker blue for the interior seats, which I really, really like. And I did a lot of the detail work. And then you've got your shifters there. And another problem I've had with Tamiya, even though I use the paint retarder when I'm hand brushing these, if you look, the gloss coats, they don't like to level out. So that's another reason why I prefer to airbrush those, but I didn't. It's on the interior. I'm not too concerned about it. And it's still, in my book, it still looks fairly decent. let's just say that the owner of this vehicle, which would have been me, just decided to roll that on or hand brush it on in real life, and it looked like crap. So there we go. But either way, everything's coming along really nice. I absolutely love the fit of this Revell kit. So again, most of you have probably seen this kit at Hobby Lobby is where I picked it up at. Wait till it's 40% off because it's totally worth it. And I'm not sure all the details on when this one was popped or not. Probably fairly recently. I know that Revell has a newer box, but it's still the same mold. But I'll tell you what, the fit and finish on this kit is absolutely superb. I did have to go in and throw some sprue goo in along the sides here to fill in any gaps, and not too much on the back section of that panel, but just here, I wanted to fill in where any light was leaking through, just because I wanted a nicer fit. So once I put it on the body, though, it was outstanding. The fit was incredible. So I look forward to getting most of this put together today. I'm going to head back to chat real quick and see what you guys are up to. And let's see, where was I? Top was saying Dirk in the house. Yep, Dirk's probably at work. Not sure if he's working today. Saying Dirk was saying hi to Lewis. Dan was saying hi, Muse. Hi, Lewis. AKA Pretty Boy. Muse was saying work. What's this? Indeed. Dirk was saying yo yo buck, and Lewis was saying thanks Dan. Laugh out loud. And Lewis or Top was saying, "Wait a minute, you're going to have have modeling on a modeling show? Believe it or not, I will try. I do my best." And Top was saying, "Lunchtime here, nice." And Muse is saying, "It can happen." Dirk was saying, "What kind of mayhem is going to go on today?" Hopefully, not a lot of mayhem. And he did correct me and say interior tub. Thank you very much. Basically, it's on a real vehicle. You know, it's just the interior door panels and things like that. And a lot of times, I've noticed if you're building the tub separate, the fit isn't very well. But when I'll tell you, like I just said a little bit ago, when I put the body on top of the finished tub, there were no gaps, no seams whatsoever, and it fit beautifully. So I'll show you guys that later today as well. So hopefully not too much mayhem today. This should be a fairly simple build for what I'm doing. I do have to do decals though, so those can always get a little bit fun trying to do those live. Top was saying so far my use of the Revell aqua paints have been great. I'll let you know how they airbrush. That's true. So if you aren't familiar with Buckman's Model Mania, head over to his channel. He recently got the complete line of the Revell aqua paints. I think it's the complete line anyway, and he is starting to work with them. And so far, they brush really well from what I've seen. So airbrushing, we'll have to check that out when you do use those for airbrushing and just see how well they do. Dirk said you should stick to boats. Oh yeah, boats are the best. In fact, hopefully soon we can get started on the Arizona, which I'm very excited for. I do have I haven't shown it on the channel yet, but I do have the USS New Orleans in the non-existent 1/700 scale, which was a lot of fun to put together. But I'm going to be painting that here pretty soon. I need to get some primer on it, and I'll be probably posting that on the channel here eventually. Top was saying, I love boats. And if you're not familiar with Buckman's Model Mania, again, he and Rascals Hobbies, Eric over at Rascals Hobbies, are doing the Queen Mary 2. And they're turning out very nice. In fact, I'm really interested in possibly getting that Revell kit at some point. They do have the Platinum Edition, which is available, which is really cool. Muse is saying I've used felt on the floor panels, so no shine issues. So yes, typically what I would use is I would on the floor panels and on the floor pans and things like that, I would use flocking, the flocking material, or use felt depending on the size of the model if I have felt that's thin enough. On these particular Land Rovers, a lot of them didn't really have carpet in them, so I chose to go with the like a painted metal finish on the floor. Some people could put carpet in them. It just depends. So that was kind of my thinking on that one, Muse. So yeah, the felt does look really awesome, especially in the flocking whenever you use that on the floor panels. For like the GTO, you guys will see me do that on the GTO. Lewis is saying he loves 1350. Everybody here, pretty much from HLI, is in agreement. 1350 ships do rule. Dan was saying, what the shit, my keyboard is misbehaving again. That was meant to say great big. Muse was saying, found a massive piece of felt last night when I was going through crafting stuff. So bonus, nice. It's a dark gray, so it should do for most builds. That's, yeah. I ended up getting some black, and I feel like the black is almost too much. It would be better to, I think, if you maybe mix some gray into the black. I also have red, which is super red, and then a blue. So I'm still on the fence of what color I'm going to do the interior of the GTO. Let's see, a couple of thumbs up and waves. And Lewis is saying there's only two scales in ships, 1350 and 200. That is correct. 1200 is even better. Yes, indeed. I would have to agree on that. Dirk is working from home. I go back to the office tomorrow. Very nice. And everybody's agreeing with Lewis there. And Muse is saying work happens at 5 p.m. around here. Yeah, you work later shift. So Mark I don't know how to say your last name. I'm going to try Soares. I remember when you did the opening review over Kit. Sorry, that was when I watched your last time. No worries, Mark. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for popping in. And I do these live streams every Monday. They're not always going to necessarily include modeling, but I do my best and see what I can do. So today, definitely, I have my workbench has been a mess because the Land Rover's been on it. I've been trying to get it finished, and so hopefully, my plan is to have it finished in the next few weeks here. So just because I need to get some of these in-progress builds out of the way and get them finished. Mark Shellard's in the house. Hi, everyone. Good to see you, Mark. Thanks for popping in. And Muse was saying hello to Mark. And hi, Marks, plural, because there are two Marks in here so far. And Muse is saying, I need to get some of those Revell paints. Yeah, I don't know. I'm on the fence about them, but Buck is definitely working with them so far. So we'll get to see kind of his review of those Revell paints and just see how well they are. Mark was saying hello to Muse, and Top was saying just 29 bottles. Okay, the ones need for the Queen Mary 2 and the SAR boat. All right, perfect. So yeah, there's quite a big lineup of those Revell paints. So go ahead and check those out. Budget this month says no more fun stuff now. So yeah, so I'm going to check here for any questions. And then we're going to head over to the workbench. Oh, and Lewis, yeah, Lewis did show me there's a store over in the UK that has the Revell Platinum Queen Mary 2 for 99 pounds. There was a website that had one available here in the US, but it's not actually available to ship to my area. So I was going to check it out and see if I can find it elsewhere at some point. But I have a few other things I need to get before I can get the Queen Mary. So, all righty, let's head over to the Workbench, and I'm going to get started here on the Land Rover. So I'm not really entirely done with the engine. There are a few things that I've been working on and need to sort out. Let me get the other camera filming here. Maybe. There we go. So here on the engine, kind of what I spent a lot of time doing this weekend was painting up a few little details. I kind of got ahead of myself. I wanted to paint the interior or the rest of the engine, maybe like a light blue. I still can do that because I can always go back and touch up all the black areas and some of the chrome that I've done on it. So I might be doing that. But what I spent most of my weekend doing was trying to sort out distributor wires. And originally what I had done was I took a Cat 6 cable and stripped it out and took all of the wires out. And then I ended up stripping some of the wiring off out of one of the ends here to make kind of a red cap for it, because I was thinking that would look good on the distributor. And by placing it on the little nubbins, as you were, onto there and gluing them. But then I realized this is kind of thick and I didn't really like how it looked. So I have this floral wire and it's purple, so I could always paint it if I wanted to, but the floral wire definitely, let me see if I can show you guys up here, definitely is a lot thinner. And so the decision was made to drill out little holes, and I can insert the wire there with some super glue, and then I'll run it to all the different points where the spark plugs would be. So that's kind of the plan. I'm not quite there yet. So in the meantime, I think the engine's just going to hang out side of the kit for a little while, and we can do some of the decals here while I have everything kind of ready and have some warm water, because I need to do a few little decals on the engine parts and the battery. Same deal with the battery here. So I ended up taking the battery, drilling down holes, and let me see if I can get a good image right there. So the I drilled out the holes in the battery right next to where the terminals would be, and then I'm going to clip this, and what I thought was I can actually use these because they're a little thicker, and then glue it onto the end of that wire sticking out and then run the cables where I need to. So that's kind of where we're at here with the battery. And there's a decal that does have to go onto that, but we'll get to that in just a moment. The first decal I really need is for the engine here, and it's going to be decal number 9. And I'll see if I can, it's very, very small. So decal number 9. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this one out. And that reminds me, I did not get my mark set out, so I should get all of my decal solutions out. And it's going all the way to the bottom, of course, but that's fine. Usually I'll have a towel handy, so I'll bring that over here, grab my solutions. So on my solutions, let me get this out of here before I lose it forever. I probably don't even need it for this little decal. But I have a few different options. I'll use the Mark Fit sometimes, the super extra strong. But then you have, I mark a 1 and a 2 because that's the order that you use these on. So I have the 1 for the micro set and the 2 for the micro sole. I don't think I necessarily need them for this particular decal. And this decal is just going to go in right there. Try to see if I can do this so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. Yeah, that did not want to come off. It's been a while since I've actually worked with the Revell decals. There we go. And it's on my finger. So I'll see if I can transfer it over to here with mess. I know these are really difficult to see, but they've got to be done. Decals have never really been my favorite thing to do either. So what I'll do in just a moment is apply some of that Mark Fit because this decal is super stiff. Was asking, hi Dee, how's it going? Bonnie's in the house as well. But Lewis was asking, do you clear coat your model first? Usually, yes, I do. So just for the engine, I have, because of the decals, I haven't cleared it yet, but I will be clearing, putting a clear coat on it. Typically, before I do any of the decals, I will clear. But I'm doing things a little backwards on this just because these decals are so freaking tiny. So I'm just going to clear over the top of them, which I'll usually do anyway. So I'll apply a clear coat, put on my decals, do any weathering and all that, and then I'll over the top of that. Sometimes it just really depends on what I'm doing. Man, this one does not want to go on here. So this might be something I might have to do post live stream. We might have it now. Might have been a better option to try to use the micro scale products. So this can kind of wait too. So maybe I'll just work on, since we are on a live stream, I'll just work on putting some of the parts together that I need. you would think with the super strong, it would have started deteriorating that decal a bit. Decals and live streams probably don't mix, especially on little decals like this. Okay, I'm going to leave it be for now. It looks fairly decent. And we have Kevin has joined us. And Lewis has got to head out, got to go to sleep now. I'll watch it back tomorrow. Take care and have fun. Thanks, Lewis, for stopping by. See you later. And take care. Have a good day at work tomorrow. So, like I said, I think for now I'm going to leave the decals alone just because they are very small for you guys to see. And we can go ahead and work on putting the chassis here onto the model. And when I painted all of this up, as you can see here, I did manage to tape off any areas where glue is going to join. And I did that just to make it, just to make sure it got a good fit. And here you've got the little tabs to line everything up. There we go. Just want to double check again. Everything looks good. And then I'll just go ahead and take my Tamiya cement and get everything glued down. Lots of great contact points on this as well. And hold on. Before we do that, I did need to install this. See, this is the exhaust, which was supposed to go in a long time ago. So let's get this in before I make it harder to install. This end's going to come out the back. I'm going to move this stuff out of the way. And it shows you've got your contact points there. This is going to be a little fiddly to get in. Might have to do some touch-up paint afterwards, but that's okay. I knew this wasn't going to be easy to install after the fact, but because they wanted you to install this a long time ago. But I didn't want to install it when they asked you to, just because I wanted to make sure I got all the painting done and all that. Okay. Almost there. Just need to get it past this point, and we're in. So now I can go ahead and glue everything down. I don't really even think I need to glue this because those push into those points really well. So we've got those, and then there's this last one, which is gonna be kind of a pain in the butt, just because, and that's fairly easily resolved. There we go. Now I'll go ahead and hit those with glue. Now we can put the rest of this together. Oh, come on. Okay. So the exhaust has to fit through right there. And make sure this is all lined up. There we go. Now I can glue all this together. Let's see what the Buck was saying. He demands a name change. Black gloves. You know what? The black gloves are my favorite, to be honest. It should be black glove models, but no, that wasn't the point of the name. Thankfully, most of this shouldn't need a whole lot of touch-up paint. I will be going back after the fact and doing a little bit of touch-up, like in certain areas, like back here. I need to just paint the black where you can see a little bit of white on the underside. Everything looks like it has gone together very, very nicely. And if you're new to the channel, I tend to use a lot of glue, probably more than I need. It's just, I don't know. That's just how I am. I'm going to hold off on that because I need to put those parts together. to chat real quick and we'll see what everybody's up to. Everybody's mad because I'm wearing black gloves. Well, like I said, they are the best. Johnny's here. Hey, Johnny, oh, you're here. Exhaust is overrated. And I demand a channel name change or kangaroo court on HLI will ensue. And Top was saying, hey, Johnny, I'll acknowledge your existence. Yeah. You know, at some point, I should have somebody else on help keep the conversation going, and maybe I'll things a little more interesting. So at some point, I should do that. But I do appreciate each and every one of you that is here following along. And I apologize. I read your questions right away, especially when I'm building to follow along. But I will do my best. And I'm still debating on whether or not I'm going to use bare metal foil on the necessarily chrome anyway. They were more of kind of like a aluminum. What I should be doing is applying lamps to this. Or some of the quick setting cement. So I will sit here and I need to. I could also, I don't think anything's sticking up that'll break. Another option is just to do this. And we'll switch over to the other camera here and talk for a little bit. All right. So let's see what everybody is up to in chat. Again, the talk about the gloves. Purple gloves are great too, but I just happen to out these black gloves. I actually use at work quite a bit, and I really like them. And I found them. You can get like a whole case of them on Amazon. Ended up doing about a year ago, so I have boxes and boxes of these black gloves. I do have some of the white. I don't like those as much. I'll use those for painting occasionally, but and I managed evening. Top is saying shameless plug. I should finish the D'Agostini X-wing tomorrow night, starting at 6 p.m. Central Time tomorrow. About ready to finish that one. I did want to talk a little bit about. We are going to talk a little bit about the Enterprise today. So I'll get into that. I'm going to make a official page or on the YouTube channel about that, and that'll be coming this week as well. So glue bombers unite. Johnny was saying someone else uses a ton of glue, like the whole bottle on a model. Pretty close, believe it or not. Some of these do take quite. I have a feeling for tank, the Sherman tank, there's going to be a lot of glue used in that because there are hundreds. And you know, a full kit, and I can't wait to get that one going. So let's head back down to here. And this is probably something glue together overnight. So far, it looks like I've got some good adhesion there. Come back over here and do this side. So far, everything is looking good and lined up. It's always fun when you end up getting everything all put together and then put your wheels on, and you've got one wheel raised in the air. Thankfully, with everything is going together very, very nicely. So I don't think I'll have to worry about anything like that happening. The one part that's going to be tricky is up here at the front a little bit, and so I'll probably have to clamp those down for sure. Oh, Johnny was saying, not you, a different channel. And Dan was glue like the whole bottle on a model. And Dan loves, they remind me of a and his examination. Yeah, it's the doctor that I go see, they use purple gloves. Purple and white. All right, so I'm gonna flip that over. Have a sip of coffee. Top was saying that the examination is really awkward when he has a hand on each of your shoulders. So I do have a couple of different clamps. I have some of these, which I don't really like. It should do okay for just clamping this down back here. Maybe. They don't really grip too well, which is the unfortunate thing. And yeah, I don't think that's going to work. I can try it on here. It's like they don't get tight enough is my issue with them, but they were like $1 at not at Dollar Tree, my other favorite place to shop, but at Harbor Freight they were maybe like $1 something. So I'm happy with that. Go ahead and leave that one clamped. Now I'm going to have to figure out how to these. Good tool that I always forget about is tape. And sometimes that is the best. See, that's not going to stay on there. Whatever. It's actually glued down. It's not. Leave that at that. And we'll just put this for a second and let it think about what it's doing. Because it's worthless. And the other part, this is kind of a big one, is we can get the, and I don't recall for the dashboard. So I'm going to go ahead and maybe install them. I decided I'm not going to do a whole lot of detail work on the dashboard on the inside, just because you're not really going to see it. I did add a little bit of color here and there, just to, you know, give it some variance in color. Let's see, I need to flip over to that page. And they do have decals. So we have basically the only decals we are going to be installing. Left-hand drive, I need decal number 2. And then I'll be needing one called decal number 4. So the air is still here and warm. I'll install those decals or decals. And so there we've got 2 and 3. Which I was kind of hoping larger decal, but it is not. Let me flip back to, because I'm not really sure if that's a glove box or an like a radio, but it looks more or less like a gauge. That panel is just some extra gauges. And I'm going to go ahead and cut out one as well, because battery, I believe, got installed. Decal number 6. No. Interesting. So that is not going to be going on right now. So let's leave decal. Put the whole sheet in water here. And Nat is here. Hi, Nat. How are you? I don't think I did say hi to you. How are you doing? Good evening, Kalan, and everyone in chat. Good to see you. Mark, people. Hello, Kalan. Hi, Mark's in here now. Dan was saying it gets more awkward talking about how he lost his car keys. And Nat was saying hello to everybody, to Muse, Eric, and Mark. And everybody's saying hi to Nat. And Johnny was asking, Kalan, did you ever get down to the guy with all the kits for sale? He hasn't returned any of my texts. So Johnny, he got a new answer your question. And no, I haven't yet. I keep getting pushed back. So I'm hoping I need to get back in touch with them. But me address. So that should be plenty of time in the solution there. And let's go ahead and pull this out. This again is I should be using some of the Mark Fit. So go ahead and put some of the mark fit here. And I should have my extra hands out. So excuse me while I get quiet and do this. Come on. And that one does not want to go to its slot. I just tore it. Come on. Might be painting this one on. Come on, you could do it. Now, of course, it's backwards. This is why I am not the biggest fan of decals. There we go. It's not always the decals. So now we can take our last one here, and I think I'm just going to use just, I know, sorry you guys cannot see this. This is, decals are not the best thing to do on live stream, so I do appreciate you guys. I'll try to adjust this. And I'm not even going to bother with any more mark fit because for the most part, those are pretty good. I mean, they're not, they're in there. And Ross is in. Hey, Ross. Good evening. Performance issues? Yes. Yes, indeed. I am. So, so I do have, I think, one more decal to put in here, but I'm going to wait and do that after it's installed just because I haven't finished painting these guys. But we can go ahead and install this. And it's just going to go in right here. And we have two dogs, and Holly, who is our big dog, she sheds like crazy, and so she's not allowed in this room, but somehow her hair always manages to end up in here. So there we go. That, and glue that down. I'm going to move my out of the way. Go ahead and glue this down. again, like I was saying before, just really nice fit on this kit. I cannot complain at all. The fit and finishes on this kit. That's going to be tough to get in there. And spin her around. I don't have a brush to use for getting into these tight spaces. I should, but I don't. And one last area I can apply some glue to is just up here on the top. So I do have a little bit of touch-up work. I can obviously paint where this comes together. Method of applying way more glue than's needed. So that'll be easy to touch up, and then I can paint those parts, the colors that I need, and apply those decals later on. So far, everything is coming. I can put some more glue against the dashboard if I'd like. All I need to do is just paint those vents, and I was going to try to highlight. Touch my gloves, you know. So that is in there. And I just have a little that I'll be that area right there because I obviously didn't tape that off properly. And we put that off to the side and let it do it. And I'm going to come back up here. All right. So while those are drying, let's catch up on some chat. And Nat was saying it could be worse, Kalan. It could be photo etch. Thanks. This kit, I'm pretty sure there are photo etch available for it, which would be so much fun. Also, Nat, just want to kind of give you a little plug. Thank you for your video this morning on the Eddie Stobart truck. I feel your pain. You know, there's one reason why I'm not building that one, and I can tell you're already running into a lot of various issues, but definitely I'm hoping that they resolve those, and it does look like a great kit, and I'm so glad that you're building it. But I know Lewis is probably giving you a hard time just because of some of the issues that you've had, and I always, when it comes to issues like that, my format, everything isn't always smooth as butter, so if you haven't checked out Dexterous Crafter's build of the Eddie Stobart truck, you should head over there and check it out. Ross Medlock is having performance issues. Of course I am. Definitely with the trying to keep you guys entertained as I try to do decals, which, oh my gosh, decals are so much fun. I think you might need more than one tablet. Oh, because Buck Top was saying, oh, they have a pill for those issues. if see, I was on Twitter this morning, and I can't remember who it was, if it was Eagle Moss or somebody else had posted, take the red pill to go back in time to when you were 6 years old, and but know everything that you know now, or take the blue pill to just win $10 million. And I was thinking about that, and that's actually kind of wouldn't be um, it would actually be nice to go back in time knowing everything that you know now, because then you can, fix either some of the mistakes that you've made throughout your life, or you know whatnot. But I always thought that, like, that's kind of an interesting question. And why is Eagle Moss bringing that up? Who knows? Eagle Moss is very interesting. So let's talk a little bit about the enterprise, because I am going to make a formal announcement on the channel, but you guys will hear it here first because you're on the live. I've discontinued the enterprise. We're not going to continue with it. And the reasons for that are the issues that I've had with Eagle Moss and with the fit and finish of it. And I'll do a video on that later this week. Uh, it's just not worth it. It's not worth the amount of money that you're spending to get a model that just isn't going to work. For the most part, there's a lot of issues when it comes to uh, like the Cobra neck and how the saucer is going to fit on it. It's not going to work. Just not, and there all the light bleed and all that stuff. So, and then also with the other issues that I've had with Eagle Moss, just it's been since October since I've received anything from them for it. So the enterprise is dead. I would much rather build a large scale plastic version of the enterprise and just make that light up and do all the fun stuff I want with that. So that's basically where we're at with that. I am continuing with the Eleanor, the Gone in 60 Seconds Mustang. So we are continuing with that, as well as with the Ecto 1. I did receive parts for the Ecto 1. They are behind me in a stash over there. And they also sent the Ecto 1 license plate. So I have that on my file cabinet, which is, I have the Eleanor one over there as well. So, excuse me. I'm gonna have a sip of coffee. Top was saying we have a Samuoid. They can do magic. Probably said that wrong. Bring a can of anything home. Now they will already be a hair in there. Yeah. Yeah. That's one thing. It doesn't matter how much we vacuum or do or dust or anything. Holly tends to always have hair everywhere. So, and we can brush her like for an hour or more and try to brush all the hair out, and she's still shedding like crazy. So Eric was saying, wait, did he just admit we suck like decals? I didn't say that. I'm far too long to. Yeah. All right, so let me get a sip of coffee here, and I think we have a few more things I can put together. I started using my Yeti because I'd get to building and get to doing the live stream, and before long the coffee was cold, and I hate cold coffee. So thank you for my Yeti. This keeps my coffee warm for a couple hours. And I will not ever use that for applying decals. I do have the windows, and one thing I'm going to do with the windows that a lot of you might be familiar with is giving them a little dunk in future. And what that will do is kind of bring out the shine a little bit. So we're going to head over to the workbench for just a little bit longer, and I will be applying some future to those. Oh, 2 huskies with long hair? Oh, no way. That would be incredibly crazy. And see, the thing is our backyard is not finished, so it's dirt. It's all dirt in the backyard, and oh my gosh, it's just she rolls around in dirt and then comes inside, and it's just a huge mess. So let's head back to the workbench real quick. And so what I do is I keep my Pledge floor gloss in a little jar, such as this, for dunking small parts in. And let's see if I can open this without spilling it everywhere. And then I just like to leave a towel out to rest them on. And a lot of these little parts right here, these are the, let's see if I can bring it up here. These are the tail lights and brake lights. And as you can see, they are already painted. And it's just as easy as taking, let me grab a different set of tweezers. Maybe. There we go. And it's just as easy as dunking them into the future. Pull them out. And what I'm going to do is I'll pull all of this stuff off of here. As a matter of fact, just dump it out. I did, which I probably should not have done, was I removed a lot of these windows from the sprues, and I should have left them on there. But I'll put this in here and just lay those on top. And just basically let them dry right there on the towel. And it just gives them a really, really nice finish. So these windows, like I said, usually it's better if you leave them on the sprue. I just want to make sure there's no hair. I've had them in the container with the lid closed so no hair and dust gets on them. And I basically just let them sit there and do their thing and dry, typically for about at least a day. The towel should be flat, but it's not. It's not really gonna. I'm not terribly worried about it. There we go. And the nice thing about future floor polish is it's self-leveling, which usually it ends up leaving a nice look to it. In fact, I'm going to take this one, dunk it again, and I'm going to just leave it on this towel, and I can transfer them into the container later. And just keep doing that with all of these. And there we go. Somehow I've managed to get future on my workbench. This is just kind of a technique that I've learned from watching different YouTubers as well as HobbyLink International. It works really great on the canopies and stuff too for aircraft. Hopefully There we go. And if they don't work out or you have little smudges or anything in them, it's really easy to get the future off and then just re-dip them. I have a feeling that some of these are not going to look that great when they're done. Because the future is not really dipping off of some of these. And I think that's because there might be some oil on them from fingers. Wouldn't be my fingertips, because you know I would never touch my model with greasy hands, right? So there is that. And I'm gonna, this got future on it. I need to get it off because that's the area that glues down. Clean up my mess there. And moving on. So I'm going to let these just sit for several hours overnight. And I can pull this stuff out of here. Just throw this in the box. All right. And Top was saying we have, oh yeah, we already talked about that. 2 Huskies. And Gilbert, hey Gilbert, how are you? I eat fried chicken when doing my models. Man, then you need to wear gloves. See, you can wear gloves while eating your fried chicken. Then you won't get any on your models, right? Muse is saying 1 husky chow was enough for me. She seems to have stopped shedding. Yeah, so Muse, speaking of chow, so our big dog Holly, she is a chow, German Shepherd, and then who knows what else mix. Like we're thinking boxer, but we're not sure. And the chow has taken over her body, meaning she has all of the characteristics of a chow, and long hair, and she just sheds like crazy. And she sometimes has that very protective attitude of a chow, which is kind of nice, but she gets her feelings hurt really easily, which is unfortunate. Just, you know, she had a rough life. We ended up adopting her. She was the victim of a forest fire, and we adopted her, and she had a rough time apparently. So she's afraid of everything, especially loud noises and fire. She doesn't like that either for very good reasons. So thankfully she wasn't injured, but during the fire, as far as we know, a firefighter had rescued her and brought her to a place called Rescue Ranch here in Yreka. And so nobody was adopting her, and she was so cute and adorable and really loves toys. She's more toy motivated, I would say, than she is food motivated. So she's been a good dog. She just has her issues. So I'm going to attempt to glue this down, and what I'll do is I'm going to use the quick setting for the initial spot of glue that I put on here. And I'm going to glue it from the inside. And I haven't installed the engine and stuff yet, just like I was saying before. I'm going to wait on that. Excuse me, just because I have some more work I need to do on the motor. And we'll sit here and hold this for Lord knows how long. Yes, Dirk, she does have a purple tongue. Chows are so cool. Yeah, and that's kind of what gave it away. was that she was Chow, because we were trying to figure out what the heck she was. And then they did a little DNA test, and sure enough, that Chows can be very protective and can be mean to other dogs. But we have a little dog too. We have his name's Sailor, and he's a Terrier Chihuahua mix. And so we call him the terrorist, because he's picked up the traits of both dogs, and they are very dominant. And he thinks he's the boss of everything, and he let Holly know that. And she's much bigger than him, and he always would put her in her place. And so she's afraid of him, but loves him to death. But any other dog that is introduced to Holly, for some reason, she just doesn't like him. And we don't understand her mentality, but that's just the way that she is. Kevin was saying, yep, Muse, both of mine never stop, just gets worse twice a year. Yeah, the shedding. It just never seems to end. And you can, like I said, you can brush them over and over and over and over again, and the hair just keeps on coming. And Muse was saying hers was extremely territorial. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, the backyard, she patrols the backyard like, I don't know how to explain it, but you can tell like that backyard is hers, and she is on patrol. And if anything comes in it, she wants to make sure that it knows she owns it. Top is saying our 25-pound pug terrorizes the 75-pound Samoyed. Yeah, I believe it. Sailor is the biggest terrorist I've ever had with a dog. He just has to be in control of everything, and he is so energetic. It's hilarious. But the only problem, so like Holly, she's not food motivated. She is a little bit more so now than she used to be, but that's because she's learned everything, all of Sailor's bad habits. And a typical terrier, I guess, like you can't, I'm used to feeding dogs, like you put out a bowl of food and they eat when they want to. And that's kind of how Holly was. But Sailor, on the other hand, if you put out an entire bowl of food, he will just sit there and eat it until he like passes out. And he's always hungry. Doesn't matter how much you feed him. So we have to feed both of them twice a day. And Holly now more so than ever, like she does get excited about dinner time. But Sailor, he eats his food in like 12 seconds. Doesn't even taste it, I don't think. And he's always hunting for more. We have apple trees and pear trees in our backyard, and he is constantly, if any apples fall, we have to kind of patrol the yard during the season where the apples are falling and the pears, because both of them now will go and eat apples until they get sick. And so yeah, they're funny that way. Gotta love them though. Dogs are always a lot of fun. Dirk was saying usually they attach themselves to one person and that's it. Not really good with kids because of that. Yeah, we've noticed. Except she wants to play with kids, but she's too rough with them. And it's funny because, if a dog walks by, she goes crazy and starts barking. If a kid goes by or someone with a stroller, she goes crazy. But anybody else, she just ignores them. That's why I don't have one, but I really like the way they look. Yeah. And it's funny because she is very attached to the two of us, which was surprising. And that's probably the loyalty of the German Shepherd in her. And because she is very loyal, but anybody else, like she wants to be friends with them. Like, you know, my wife's dad and mom will come over, and she's like, hey, look at me, I want to play with you. And it's kind of funny, but if a stranger comes by, she's like, nope, no thank you. She'll just either bark at him or ignore him. That said, I'm so happy with my boxers, my favorite breed. Yeah, so I had a boxer, a brindle. His name was Mo. I called him the big giant Momo head because he had a massive head. And I tell you what, boxers to this day are my favorite breed. He was the most loyal and loving dog, and he actually belonged to a friend of ours. And I would watch him, and he ended up liking me more than he liked his parents. So just a wonderful dog, and ended up taking him, and he was such a lovely dog. But he got bit by a brown recluse spider on his face, and unfortunately, I had to put him down, and that was, I think, the hardest thing I'd ever had to do. But he was very loyal. Such a wonderful, energetic dog too. So I think what I'll do with this is I'm going to try to tape this down. Actually, I have tape here on the counter. I have no idea what time it is. It's 11:23 here. I don't think I need this much tape. Come on. Well, I might now. What I'll do is I'll feed it up through here. Stick it down. I'm just going to pull. There we go. It's wasting a lot of tape, but I don't want that going anywhere. And then we'll just do the same thing over here. So I'll get some tape ready. I'm not going to go on too much longer. I think I'll get the tape set and get the glue set on this as well. And then we'll pretty much call it a day. Oh, come on now. That's way too much tape, so just throwing stuff around. Okay. So I'll just get my glue set right here. Make sure that this is where I need it. Probably don't need the quick setting, but I'm going to use it anyhow. Okay. And then just make sure that's good and tight. There we go. And then I'll just let this pretty much sit for several hours. to make sure that that is good and bonded. And see, the back popped up. That's what I was afraid of. So let me put just a touch more glue in here, and then we'll come back and pretty much do the same thing on the back, just because I want that to seal up and bond really well. And for that, I'm going to use a different tape so I'm not wasting my Tamiya. This is just regular Scotch tape. And it's going to put a little bit of pressure on parts that I probably shouldn't, but I don't want, I really just don't want this separating. There we go. And then I can just apply some more glue here just to make me happy. I'll apply a little bit more back here. Too much in the wrong spot. There we go. So I'll just let this sit probably for the rest of the day, just like that. Unless I get back to it tomorrow. Let me just close everything up, make sure everything is nice and tight, and there we go. Head back over to chat here. All right. So thanks again for everybody for joining me. That definitely got, we're making progress. That's the big thing, is we are making progress on the Land Rover and getting it pretty much ready for final assembly and a few little last bits and bobs of paint. I will be doing a lot of touch up on the paint, and then I will seal it with the clear coat. Some of it's going to be clear coated in the flat clear, and then some other parts will be clear coated, obviously, in the matte or gloss clear. Sorry, in the gloss. What I think I've decided on the body of it, however, is on the body, I think I will keep it that flat color, just because it'll be easier. And trying to do a gloss clear coat on the body is just going to be frustrating. So I'm not going to worry about too much with the, just doing the flat, because I think it looks better. And then a lot of times on these builds as well, or on the actual Land Rovers, you'll notice that the top of it is usually white. I still haven't really decided if I'm going to keep it the blue or paint it white, because I don't know why I didn't think of this beforehand. It's just one of those things that kind of got overlooked when I initially was painting. So there's that. But anyways, guys, let me get my glove off. I do want to thank each and every one of you that joined me today in the chat and also just following along on this build. I will be posting another update video of the Land Rover Series 3 109 on the channel at some point, hopefully within the next week or two. There's a lot coming to the channel, so you'll be seeing more of the fire truck being built, as well as the Bismarck, which has been a lot of fun to do. So the Bismarck build, I think, is by far one of my favorite part work builds that I'm doing so far. And I can't really complain about it a lot because I am making it my own. I'm doing all the modifications and stuff that I want to do to it. So anyways, I appreciate each and every one of you that's managed to join me today. And thank you again so much. And until next time, take care.